I don't have any experience with a wood stove, and Joey has a lot of experience with a wood stove, and I was really concerned that I would be cold.
Oh, hi, Philip.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
All right, we're here. We're unloading. Here's the wagon, and yeah, it was a nice drive up. Decent day. Nice. It's chilly, but there's no wind, so that's nice.
40 degrees, low tonight, I think in the upper 20s, and tomorrow night lows in the low 20s. But no wind at all, dead quiet. So we'll get up to the camp, get the fires going, and then I'll start getting things ready to go out to the stand. So right now it is mid 30s and just dead quiet. We're getting things together here, organizing stuff, gonna get the fires going. It's about 30 degrees in the tent, but I don't think it's that cold.
All right, so I made homemade fire starters out of candle wax, lint, dryer lint, and egg eggshell cartons, and they work really well. I like them as long as you keep the kindling going. Joey's got this old pine,
The top boughs of a pine tree that I cut
the
down.
top boughs of a pine tree, and obviously
it's been soaked.
Yeah,
It rained
it's very
all
wet.
week and it's just taken off. Okay, I'm gonna go out hunting for about 2.5 hours in the stand that saw the deer last night and this morning, 3 different deer. So I'm gonna see what I can do on that stand.
I'm going to just relax and read, and maybe
That's all fogging up on you here.
I'm just going to relax and read the fire, keep both fires going, and then kind of start some dinner or get in the process of it when he's coming back.
What are we having?
We're having tacos.
Alright. Okay, so that's the plan. I will see you in the deer stand in about 15 minutes.
Okay, so while Joey's been gone, I've just been keeping the fire going, um, doing some reading, just relaxing, chilling. It's about 35 degrees out, so not a lot of outside time. I'll come out, kind of get some fresh air, and then go back in the cozy, warm tent. Okay, also, I don't have any experience with a wood stove, and Joey has a lot of experience with a wood stove, and I was really concerned that I would be cold up here and have to have on all the layers. And this wood stove is definitely keeping me warm. I had a hoodie on over this. I have a long sleeved shirt on underneath my um, t-shirt, and it's some sort of synthetic, so it's kind of warm and wicking. Um, so yeah, my hands were cold, and then when I come outside, I do use the hot hands if I want to sit outside for a little bit to keep my hands warm. I just jumped out here to add some more wood to the fire quickly. But also, I did my nails. It's Halloween weekend, so I did my nails. Just because you're in the Northwoods doesn't mean you can't have some glitter and fanciness, right?
Okay, got back. Didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. Very quiet, so quiet that it actually would hurt your ears until you heard a noise or a car or something in the distance. That stand last night at 4:55. There was a deer that ran through or walked through it. With the Tacticam, you get an image. When something walks through, you got to pay more in order to get the video or a clearer image or a high definition, unless you just go to the camera and pull the SD card and drop it on computer and figure out what it is and get the video. So then I went, and then coming here today at 10:05, had two deer run through. Looking at the low res image, it very clearly, or at least it appears, the second deer was a buck chasing the doe, and both of them ran yesterday and this morning, based on how the camera took the picture, right underneath the stand that I was in tonight. So no squirrel, few birds. Right at dark, heard a pack of coyotes and some owls, barred owls, talking to one another. And then the neighbors appear, I believe it was the neighbors, on the back side of the property, on their property, cutting wood with a chainsaw, and that was it. So I'll go to the stand that's 80 yards closer in the woods tomorrow morning, where I saw the two does last Saturday night on last video. So that's where we'll be. Right now, we are
We're gonna make tacos.
got the campfire stoked back up. In here, it's nice and warm. Holly kept the stove going inside, which was a priority. It's about 60 degrees. Let me have a light here. 60 degrees in here. Now that's in the back corner. Um, Up by the stove, it's probably 20 degrees warmer. So when we get tacos made, we'll show you what that looks like. And thanks for hanging out with us. If you made it this far, why don't you like and subscribe if you like this kind of thing, and we'll continue on with the weekend journey.
So earlier I was in here and I was just relaxing, whatever, and I look over to the wood pile here and I see a little mouse. I see movement, and then I see the mouse, and he kind of snuck over to that Kindle bucket. He kind of climbed down. He saw me, he went back, and then he came back out again. So we have a mouse friend, and I know most people would say, like, why don't you kick him out? But we're in his home, and if we kick him out, he'll probably find his way back in here anyway, because mice are sneaky like that. So it is what it is, and we'll have him until we break things down.
It's a very cloudy full moon. Got the fire going just a little bit on a very punky log. I don't know if that's going to stay lit all night, or smolder all night, but I'm going to try.
Okay, so we made a little taco bar, and we cooked over
Campfire.
the campfire, but we're eating in the tent, and we're using the stove to keep our taco meat nice and toasty warm. So, bon appetit.
Good morning from the cold northwoods of Wisconsin. 28 for a low last night. When I got in the stand, it was 28, still 28. Tonight it's supposed to be 19. Dead calm. Lot of birds. I heard a couple squirrels kind of off in the distance. And right at sunbreak or right at daybreak, I heard one owl. But other than that, I haven't seen a deer. This is the stand that I saw the 2 deer in right behind you, about 22 yards, last week, Saturday night. So when I get down here in a minute, I'm going to walk over where those deer walk through, and I can clear a little shooting lane and push a rotten tree down in order to get some more access to the possibility if a deer does walk there. I can get a 22-ish yard shot if I have to. I think I'm going to hunt this stand again tonight. I don't know if I'm going to go back to that other one to figure it out. So, I'm going to get down here and head back to camp. Holly should have the tent nice and warm. I'm not cold, I'm a little chilly, but I've layered correctly. And you hear there's just nothing moving. It was a full moon last night, but they've done studies that show that that does not affect deer movement at all. I think it was University of Pennsylvania did a 10-year study on that and said it doesn't affect deer. Like, I guess it's one of the hunting myths. So, alright, I will see you back at camp.
Alright, so Joey's cooking some bacon.
That one fell in the fire, but I'm going to save it. I'll eat it.
Joey's going to eat the one that fell in the fire.
It's carbon. It's good.
It's good for you.
Yeah. You can't waste it.
And then we have some hash browns and coffee and cappuccino. The sun is kind of peeking through the clouds. It's a nice brisk morning, end of October morning.
What was it? One weather app said 1 to 3 inches of snow for last night, and the other one had no snow at all. So I don't know how you get that far off on 2 major weather predictors.
The weather really bothers Joey.
So here's our little garden I put in about a month ago or so, just 4x4 area. Planted some old garlic. We got garlic coming up there. And if I move the leaves back, there's another one there. I planted, there's one there. Planted 16, 17 cloves. And limitations obviously with sunlight, but we'll have some type of garlic growing here, and it'll be up and decently established when we come back in the spring after we take everything down into the month. So, okay, about 11 o'clock. I'm going to make a loop around the inside of the property, see if I can hear any squirrels, see if I can get 1 or 2 of them, and then I'll be back and we'll have lunch. and then middle of the afternoon I'll head back out to the stand I was at this morning to see if anything might walk my way. So I got back from squirrel hunting, heard several of them, never could get to an area where I could see one. Stoked the fire here. We're going to have lunch shortly. Threw the drone up to try to see if I could find the trees that my tree stands were on, since the leaves have all dropped. That's much more of a difficult task than you would think. Trying to identify the trail and everything from 100 plus feet in the air. What are you doing?
I guess I gotta take down the hammock at some point, and then
We can take that home.
we can take that home. I don't know. That's what I got going on.
All right.
I'm relaxing. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, I'm getting ready to go back out to the same stand I was in this morning. Winds picked up slightly. We had pork chops and potato chips. We didn't film that because you know what that looks like. What are you going to do while I'm gone?
I'm going to do a couple dishes, make sure the fires are going, read probably, things.
All right, I will see you in the stand, and we'll see if something can go down tonight.
Okay, so I was just sitting here reading, and I hear this scratching by the dresser. I think it's by the dresser. It's possible it's outside. I don't know if you can hear it. Well, anyway, I'm pretty sure it's just our mouse friend. I also hear squirrels chittering outside, so, you know, who knows? That's part of being in nature, right? Okay, Joey's back, so we're gonna investigate. He's braver than I am. Do you see him?
I don't see anything. It's an open back, so he can get in and out of the...
Well, check underneath the clothes. Maybe.
Where did you hear this noise?
Would it be in the other drawers?
Oh, hi, Philip.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
What's he doing?
Crawling down the shotgun.
Oh.
Hi, Philip. Oh. Did you see him?
I don't see him
No,
anymore.
did you see him?
Yeah, I saw him.
I must have went in the wood box. Okay, back at the tent. I'll show you what that is tomorrow. It's a boot dryer, custom-made, homemade boot dryer. Now that we got Philip all taken care of and out of the dresser drawer, Holly's got hamburgers ready to go and kept the fires going inside and out. And I'm going to make that. But Philip was the priority, and she didn't feel like she was capable of, or wanted to meet Philip without me being around. So it was like a...
I met Philip before.
Well,
I wasn't sure if that was him or not.
Well, I've met Philip before too. He would run across or stick his head out when I was up here by myself, but he didn't seem skittish and he didn't seem like he was a threat. So I just let him be. Now, when we take the tent down in about 20 days or about a month, Philip's going to have to find new residency. Now, I did see so Philip's in here this afternoon. When I was moving those pine boughs to throw more on the fire. I saw one of Philip's relatives. It was running outside. It was running away from the wood pile. So I don't know if he has company when we're not here or not. But anyway, I'm going to get the hamburgers going on the stove out there, or on the camp. Forgot to tell you, didn't see anything for the last hour. It was just absolutely so quiet it hurts your ears. You could hear ringing in your ears. And then the occasional plane would fly over, puff of wind, or a car way out in the distance. And I called and grunted very softly and loudly to try to, nothing. So I think we're going to go back to that same stand in the morning. That's the best stand that I've got, and the other two stands have cameras on them. And when I'm in that stand, I'm not getting notifications of any deer walking by them other stands, so there's no point of going in the other stands. So that's just what I'm going to do. It's supposed to be, what, 18 in the morning? 18, so it's going to be cold. But this morning it was mid-20s, 28, and there was no wind, and it was not uncomfortable. I was sweating getting to the stand because I overlayered, but I never got cold. I wear inner liner socks and wool gloves or mittens, and it was very comfortable for the 2.5 hours I was up there. So we'll show you what dinner is when we get that ready.
Okay, so here's the burgers and baked beans, and then we have some chips too if we want them, and they're very tasty. They turn out well.
As you saw outside, it was very cold this morning. Got up at 5:40, and it was windy, and a temperature of 21 with a real feel, or I guess wind index of 10. So I didn't go out. And then at 8:39 appeared on the trail camera a one antlered buck on the stand that I hunted Friday evening, and that would have been a stand I would not have hunted this morning. So I don't know if it would have walked by the other stand. 2 of the 3 stands I have trail cameras on. So that's where we're at. It was just really, if it was no wind, I would have went out with any problem. And it's not firearm season. If it was firearm season, it doesn't matter. You go out. But with bow season, it just wasn't. I went Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, and saw nothing. And then this deer, which I would have already been back at camp by the time that deer would have appeared on trail camera. But the tent stayed very comfortable.
It was comfortable. It was a little bit chilly when I got up this morning.
It was 40 degrees in the tent compared to 20 outside.
I slept until probably about 8, which is late for me. But yeah, it's very comfortable now too. We're gonna cook inside. We're gonna make some pancakes, and then we were gonna leave a little bit later, but I think we're gonna leave a little earlier now.
Yeah, we were going to, and I may still. I want to fire off the shotgun with the deer slugs at the target to make sure that it is where it needs to be, and then kind of wrap things up. We're going to do a little maintenance in the tent. We'll show you that later with some pine logs in order just to help support the tent if we do get a little snow, since I didn't get the wire put across the top and the tarp outside. So we'll show you that. But you explain the jackery for people who use the CPAP. We have a 500 watt Jackery power station and then a 1152 watt Yeti, Blue Yeti.
Yeah. So I use the Jackery, and if you use a CPAP, you know that you can use humidity and things like that.
You use a converter on the power.
I use an AC DC converter, and then
plays good music too.
It plays good music.
The AC/DC. It's a band joke.
I get it.
Go ahead.
So anyway,
you had the setting.
I had the setting on a higher humidity, and it worked out before, but it was kind of dry in here on the other night, on Saturday night. So I think it just used more power. And then I woke up at when it dies, right? So, and when you use a CPAP, when your CPAP dies, you wake up. And so, hopefully. And so I woke up at like 5 o'clock, and I said, Joey, my battery thing died. And he said, okay, we can switch them out. And then I went back to sleep, and that's when he decided that he wasn't going to go hunt.
Yeah, so next time I'll run, because whenever I'm up here by myself, I'll only use about 40% over a 3-day weekend with the Jackery, but next time we'll just keep the bigger one over on the CPAP side. So okay, so I'm going to side in, or just, we purchased this gun. We're going to see how it shoots at 30 yards, because you've seen in the woods 30, 40 at the tops if I can wiggle through some limbs. So you can see down there I've got a big block, a log facing this way. I'm going to try to aim at the dead center, and if I shoot one time and it hits dead center, we're good. If not, I really don't want to face that problem right now. So we've got earmuffs on, makeshift shooting range or table here, 12 gauge 870 Remington with deer slug. You ready?
Yep.
Low and to the right. I was aiming for that. That would have knocked the deer down. So, okay, so we know where what we need to do now. I just don't want to go through boxes and boxes of shells. So, okay, so for some reason I don't have a flathead screwdriver that can adjust the sight. But, where is it at? I need to go left and up. So I can do that adjustment when I get home, and then I can bring the gun back and shoot another box of 5 shots at that. And I'm looking anywhere in that area at 30 yards, because there's no way I'm going to shoot anything beyond 30. And even if I did, like 40 or 50, I know I'm in the range. I can just move slightly up. So that is where we're at with the patterning of the gun. Not really what I was wanting to do, to go through a box of shells and more, but yeah. So that's, I'm hitting the deer there. I mean, let's call it what it is. The first one, that was just me. So them lead slugs are disintegrating for sure. So that's where we're at on that. And now we're going to, I'll show you the boot dryer, the DIY boot dryer that I made for hunting. Alright, so I noticed when I was hunting I use inner liner socks and then wool socks, and my feet don't get cold, but boots get wet, so I do want to dry them out the best I can between hunts. So instead of buying a boot dryer, I constructed this. It is a 5-inch wide or high box cut in the bottom. There's 2 holes for soda bottles. And then on the top, I cut it just big enough for this fan. This came off of a grow tent from our garden business from a sponsor years ago. And it runs off of, I guess that's a, what is it? That's a USB, standard USB that we plug into either the power bank or a power pack. And I can set these here, and the air, the heat, will go in and dry the boots. Now, it doesn't dry it 100%. It's not like 2 hair dryers going in there and pumping 100-degree air in there. But it does make a tremendous difference. I come back, let this run for an hour, and then I hang it up here to finish drying most of it with the heat coming off the stove. Really makes a big difference. So that could be something that may help you if you're trying to get at least some of the moisture out of your boots and then finish drying them with the heat from the stove. So it may snow, it may not snow. Multiple different reports, nobody knows anything. We want to leave the tent up at least till the first week in December after firearm season, and that's when it really starts turning cold. So instead of doing, like I talked about 4 videos ago, running a cable outside from tree to tree and getting a big tarp and shutting the snow up that way, for what little snow that we are expected or potentially could have because of El Nino or La Nina or whatever that weather pattern is, this is a solution I came up with. I went down by where we parked and cut these pine logs and notched them at the top so they fit into the pipe or they fit into the framework, and I can hang on that and the frame doesn't move at all. So I did that on 3 sections here, and then I took smaller ones on 2 sides here to take the pressure off here, and I think it will work for the purpose that we need. It's kind of like a log cabin inside of a tent, but I've been told I can't leave it up like this. So this is a very good short-term solution to snow. This obviously is not going to work in January or February whenever they get up here 18 inches of snow in a 36-hour period. This is not the solution, but for what we need, this will work, and it's free, and we didn't have to buy 55-foot of cable and a massive tent that we have to tie down like a Christmas present every time we walk away from camp until we decide to take camp down. Thank you so much for hanging out with Holly and myself this weekend, cold weekend, here up at the land in the north woods of Wisconsin. If you made it this far, let's put cold in the subject in the comments below. Let me know that you've made it this far. COLD. Thank you so much, and if you like this kind of thing, subscribe and let us know that by subscribing. So until next time, we will see you then.